Car is something that most people rely on every day to allow us to function in society. It gets us to work, helps us meet with our friends and family, and can carry you long distances comfortably. When we think of how much we rely on our cars, it makes sense why our day can easily be ruined if something goes wrong and our car stops functioning properly. If you have an understanding of how your car works, it can help you save time, money, and frustration when something goes wrong. I believe that the mechanisms of how a car works are simple enough for all to understand. Today I'll be talking about 3 points. First, the process of burning gas to power an internal combustion engine. Second, the way the engine powers the surrounding electronics and components. And thirdly, the way the power from the engine is used to move the car forward. We'll first start by talking about how a motor burns gas to produce energy. According to AMSOIL, a motor has 4 steps to working properly. These are intake, compression, ignition, and exhaust. On the inside of a motor are many continuous controlled explosions. These are the result of oxygen being drawn into an engine block where it's mixed with gas and compressed. This compressed mixture is then ignited, releasing energy and exhaust gases. The cycle continues repeatedly, and the force from this is used as power to turn a component called the crankshaft. Next, we'll talk about how the motor uses this energy to power other components of an engine. According to how stuff works, the alternator is connected to the engine with a belt and makes electricity for the battery and other electronics. The alternator supplies electric energy for cars as they drive down the road. How stuff works says the car engine is also attached to the water pump, oil pump, and power steering pump by belts. The energy from the engine allows it to properly lubricate itself and allows us to operate the car both safely and easily. Now that we've talked about how an engine uses gas to make energy and how that energy can be used to power additional systems in the car, I want to talk about how the energy from the engine also drives a car forward. As mentioned earlier, the inside of an engine has a crankshaft, and the crankshaft inside an engine is connected to many things, including a transmission. According to Universal Technical Institute, a transmission takes the energy produced by the motor and sends rotational energy to the drive shaft. On a manual car, a common part that fails is called the clutch. The clutch is a disc that separates the spinning of the crankshaft from the spinning of the drive shaft. And this allows us to use different gears to go different speeds and in different directions of travel. In conclusion, understanding how a car works can help you save time and headaches when something goes wrong. I believe that everyone can understand how their car works on a basic level. Today I've talked about 3 points. First, we talked about how gas is burned in a motor, for example, the combustion process of intake, compression, ignition, and exhaust. Secondly, we talked about how the energy of the burned gas is used to power other parts of the car, for example, the way the engine drives belts that power the alternator and power steering. And thirdly, how the energy from an engine drives a car forward, in this situation of manual transmissions and a clutch. Now that you have a better understanding of how a car works, you'll be better prepared the next time your car breaks down.